Hi friends, welcome to another video. Today we are making these lovely ladies. These are my sugar-free brownies sweetened with dates. They're absolutely delicious. If you are going for like a Duncan Hines really fudgy delicious brownie, you will be disappointed. I will be completely honest. But these are sugar-free. I use wheat flour. You see they are extremely fudgy in texture if that's your jam, instead of like a cake type brownie. They're very good. I used whole wheat flour, but I've also used almond flour. I've used oat flour. They come out amazing every single time. I put chocolate chips in them to see if I can get my kids to eat them. They're also delicious with nuts and all sorts of add-ins. Like I said, they're sweetened with dates. I do everything in my Vitamix to blend them, but you can absolutely use a food processor. Food processor would actually work a little bit better. So let's dive into the recipe. Okay, so we're gonna start out this super simple recipe with make your life easy, get the pitted dates. This is 12 ounces of dates that are pitted, and I'm just going to put them in a heat-safe container for a second. Then I'm gonna get started on melting my coconut oil. You can also use ghee, butter, avocado oil. This is 1 whole cup. These are a dessert item of oil. So you can see I'm just taking this on this 2-cup measure, which is my favorite Amazon buy of a couple years ago, and just let that melt. In the meantime, I'm pouring boiling water over these dates. No measurement, you just want to make sure that they're covered and they soften. You want to let them sit for about 15 minutes. Don't completely strain these. We're going to use about a 1/4 cup of this liquid in a couple minutes. So I'm taking out my 9x13 pan and I'm using some parchment. I love this trick of just crumpling it all up, and then it just kind of sits better in your pan. At least it does when I do it. Don't go crazy. Sometimes I poke holes in it. But I'm just going to line my pan with the parchment paper so it's ready to go. And I'm using a Vitamix mixer. A food processor would work really well here too. I'm just using a slotted spoon, getting all those softened dates into the Vitamix, and I'm going to add a 1/4 cup, or roughly a 1/4 cup of this liquid here to help the dates blend. And I'm just going to blend that for just a couple minutes to kind of get them started. The 1/4 cup really isn't enough liquid to really chop them up. Unless you're using a food processor, it probably work, but my Vitamix needs more liquid. So I just chop them up a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead, give it a little scrape down, make sure everything's down by the blade, and add in that melted coconut oil. This is really going to get the dates really further processed. You really don't want any chunks. You want this to be completely smooth, and it will change a little bit of color. As you can see here, it starts getting lighter. And not saying you have to do this, but with my blender running on low, I'm going to go ahead and add 4 eggs. I'm just cracking them in. You don't really have to delay them or really worry about getting one incorporated at a time. I just kind of throw them all in at the same time and let the mixer blend and make sure everything is nice and creamy, as you can see right there. And that's it. We're done with the blender. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off, bring it back to my counter. And sometimes I put the dry ingredients first. In this case, I didn't. I just went ahead and in a big bowl, took my date mixture, dumped it right in, and then I'm going to start adding all my dry ingredients, which includes 2 1/3 cups of cocoa powder and 3/4 cup of flour. I am using white flour here. I've used whole wheat flour, oat flour, almond flour, all works. You're not using a lot. It's basically just to combine it here. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then we're just going to blend all of that together till everything looks nice and incorporated. Just takes a couple minutes here. And then I'm going to add in some chocolate chips. You can add all sorts of add-ins here. I just use regular chocolate chips, and the recipe calls for 3/4 cup, but I totally eyeball it. Nuts are wonderful in here. Walnuts are wonderful in here. I've used white chocolate chips. Peanut butter chips, peanut butter swirl. I mean, anything you do to a brownie. Oreos would be amazing. Also absolutely delicious. Throw it all in here, and then because I'm extra, I also like to put whatever is in my brownies on top of my brownies. I probably got that from the Food Network a while ago, but I like to do it. So I'm just going to top mine, probably have like another 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. Not in the recipe, it's just something that I like to do. Or sometimes my kiddos like to put sprinkles on top of their brownies as well. and I'm just going to pour this all in my pan, like I said, smooth it out, put my toppings on, and bake this guy at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. I actually like to check on it around minute 35 just to make sure. You don't want to overbake this. It will get very, very dry. So you want to err on the underside and let it completely cool down in your pan too before you cut it. This one makes you wait. I like to wait at least 2 hours after it comes out. I take it right out of the pan, and with my cast irons, I take that and throw it right back in the oven so it doesn't get any rusting. And I'm just using a serrated knife because it's one of my bigger knives to cut these up. For the blog post here, I cut these into 12, but I definitely went back and cut them into 24 pieces total. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You can find this complete recipe written out on my blog. I'll list a link to the post below. My website is missyjwhite.com. And if you make this recipe, please let me know in the comments below, or just say hi. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.